Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing this morning?
All is well.
All right, settle down, everyone. Relax. It's Sunday. Just a couple quick announcements for those who have never heard me do the announcements. I know everyone that has heard me do the announcements loves to hear them, so I'm going to do them again. If you need to either use the restroom at any time, they're back through the door there and to the left. If you get lost, you're on your own this weekend, I guess, because no one's standing back there right now. I guess I'll kind of be back there. So, Isaiah will be back there. I'm usually kind of back there too. We are having a fellowship here. We want to hear from you in the audience. So if you have a question or comment at any time, Jesse will call on you. Myself or Nick will bring you the mic. Please hold it like I'm holding it. Try not to let it move away. Don't flail it about. Don't put it in your mouth. You'd be surprised. People do that. Anyways, please, could you do me a kind favor? Check your cell phones. Silence the cell phones. Silence the cell phones. James, I can see James. His phone's in his hand. He's checking right now. So please follow suit. Silence the cell phones. And also, please, no food or drinks in here before, during, or after the service. And if anybody, I guess no one's really sitting in the way back. So, but if anybody who's not sitting in the very, very front right now wants to sit in the front, please, I mean, you know, come on up, because, you know, the stragglers, the lollygaggers, they're going to sit in the back. That's just what they do. So if anybody wants to move up, please feel free to do so. Jesse can see you all the way in the back there. It's not like he can't see you. He's going to call on you. But anyways, guys, enough from me. Am I right? Happy Sunday. Thanks for coming. Take it, Jesse.
Amazing. Thank you. No. Are we ready yet?
Yeah, roll it. Let's go.
So you guys didn't hear the Anchor Baby show this Friday, right?
Couldn't hear it.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to church. He will not tell us now. I'm Jesse Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by going to our YouTube chat line, and Hake will let me know so I can respond to your questions and comments. And thank you all for coming. Good morning, everybody. How y'all? Amazing. So Hake wasn't, I mean, not Hake, but the Anchor Baby show, we were talking about that as we were starting here. Why didn't your show air this week live?
Technical issues.
Okay.
Couldn't get it going.
And we'll be back next week if the Lord is willing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anchor Baby's new show. So I was thinking about what's going on in the country and in the world today. And I was looking at a report where over in Canada, you know, they have a dictatorship now. And that man declared emergency, whatever they call it, and now the people are under a dictator. But what was so interesting is that they can now take your money in Canada. They can literally tell a bank, don't give these people your money, your own money, and the banks will do it in Canada. And that's coming to America. Because if you notice, the American government is not saying anything about it. And if they're not saying anything, it's because they approve it. So I don't know what y'all gonna do with your little money. And then I have heard that with crypto, is that what they call? That the government can't touch that because they can't find it or something. It's out there in the air, in space, in your head. Is that right?
Yeah. No. He's a crypto expert.
Blockchain.
True.
So what?
It's on the blockchain, which is technology. So it's like data. It's on the blockchain.
Oh, okay. On the blockchain.
On the blockchain.
It's actually very traceable because it's on the blockchain.
You saying that they can get it or can't?
They can't get it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on with the mic for a minute. We're moving a little fast. Nick, come in and act like you're a part of it. Right here. You said the government can get you, because I was talking to Samuel, the Mexican convoy boy, about this yesterday.
Yeah, they can't get it because it's protected by a 12-word password usually. Obama himself said that it was like having a Swiss bank account in your own pocket, because literally it is an account that only exists virtually as you hold it. So like you said, even people sometimes will memorize their passwords.
Right.
It's hard to do, but you could memorize your passwords and no one could ever touch it.
Well, they can't get it. How come Canada is able to get it from the people? Because they've already seized some people.
Well, the problem is well, you can't transfer to money because the banks, in order to transfer to money, you would have to use a bank, or a third party to make it into cash like that we're used to. But if someone were to accept cryptocurrency, like Russia is about to accept all cryptocurrencies, so if they had sanctions against them, they could accept cryptocurrencies and no one can stop the crypto.
But Canada is literally taking the crypto.
Yeah, there's a way.
Unless the media is lying, and the media will lie, so I don't know.
There's ways on different crypto in order to like try to stop their transactions, but it's really confusing. It's hard to explain, but
Okay.
I mean,
You can explain it?
Actually, I wanted to hear why this gentleman thinks it's not protected. But before you answer that, I'm not sure exactly what Canada is doing to take people's crypto, but one way they are able to is if people are keeping their crypto online on websites like Coinbase.com, for example. It's like holding. It would be like having money that in a bank that people could take without taking your money out. If you have your money under your mattress, for example, they can't take it. There are ways to protect your crypto off the internet that is
Where
totally
the government cannot take it?
where they cannot take it.
So you have to hide your wallet under the mattress?
In essence, yes.
Okay.
Which is possible, but a lot of people don't do that, which then, a government can take the money out that way. But I wanted to let this gentleman.
So, like he said, it can get complicated, so I'll try not to make it, I don't want to make anyone's eyes glaze over. Crypto is really traceable because it's on the blockchain. That's one thing. Everything is accounted for, and governments, as they have access to the blockchain, will know how much you have, how many times you traded it, whose hands it's went through. But on top of that, crypto's usability in the last, 5 years, 10 years, is based on its growth is based on usability, and its usability is tied to fiat currency. You can have $1 million in Bitcoin, but it doesn't matter if you can't get $1 million US dollars or Canadian dollars or whatever. And then on top of that, the countries that are saying, oh, we'll accept crypto, just crypto, crypto's really volatile, so you can't charge for something this hour the same an hour from now because the price always changes. And on top of that, we kind of already see, you talk about the media is willing to lie. Well, if Russia is accepting crypto and the US government, the Canadian governments, these Western governments want to crack down on crypto, well, you could probably put two and two together if you watch the news as to why all of a sudden, Russia bad again.
Okay.
But they can get to crypto if they want because it's all tied to fiat currency. It used to be
I don't even understand the language, fiat and crypto.
the dollar.
The expert got to help me. He's the expert on crypto. If you ever need crypto help, no, I'm playing. I'm joking. And so what part of this is real and fake?
Okay, so crypto is traceable, like he said. However, as long as you don't give out your address to people, they don't know how much you hold or who holds it. Anybody can have anything on the blockchain, and as long as you do not allow a third party to know what your address is, then you're totally anonymous with that fact.
So how is the government able to, if it's true, because the media lies so much,
so the
how are they
government
able to take the truck people money, crypto money?
So the government can confiscate it if it's on an exchange. because there's a phrase in crypto, not your keys, not your crypto. As long as you have access to those 12 to 20 words, 24 words, then nobody can take that money from you ever. They can try to crack the code, do whatever they want, but it's an infinite amount of randomly generated words, and as long as nobody knows your address, they can't get into your wallet.
So let me ask, if I had crypto, as long as I don't spend it, then it's safe. But if I spend one crypto dime, then the government could get in.
Well, there are ways of cashing out without anybody knowing. It's also kind of the same way how when people hold large amounts of stocks, when they cash out and they don't allow anybody to know, it's called OTC or over the counter. So there's ways of going to people and cashing out, and there's no trace of you actually cashing out.
And one last thing about that, I also saw a report where a lot of people online are stealing other people's crypto.
Yeah.
There are a lot of
That's
exchange.
mainly how that happens is it goes back to the exchanges. If you leave your money on an exchange, anybody can they can do an exploit or DDoS attack on the network, especially if you don't have audits on your projects. So if you don't have good security on your projects, you could have your project hacked and they could steal all the money that way. Or it could be the people who created it themselves. They have backdoor keys and things like that. But as long as something is deployed on the blockchain and it's locked and immutable, nobody can ever mess with the contract. They can't hack it. It's not hackable.
What a mess, huh?
But if you don't want your money to be volatile, then you could put it in what is called a stable coin. A stable coin is equal to $1, so it doesn't fluctuate.
Amazing. That's why I'm from the old school. I like to walk to the bank. I like to walk up to a human, give them my money, get a receipt back, because I don't want to be trying to do this on a computer. It's crazy. So you were supposed to be here last Sunday, right?
Yes.
Oh, you're the one.
Yes.
What happened to you?
I went to bed at 5, but no excuse. I went to bed at about 5 a.m. I was working, but no excuse.
Oh, okay.
I should have been here.
Did your friend tell you he showed up?
Yeah.
And it was his first
yeah.
time, and he like, what the?
Yeah. He was trying to get a hold of me.
Yeah, I know. What's your name?
Alex,
Alex. Well, welcome, man.
thank you. I appreciate you.
Any questions about anything?
No,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you made it.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Listen, anybody else first time? Oh, okay, nice. Tell me your name and how'd you make it? I mean, how'd you make it? How'd you hear about us?
We made it by God.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, you black. What the?
So we're from Maryland,
Right on.
and we moved here about 3 weeks ago.
You moved to Los Angeles?
Yes. Well, no, not actually Los Angeles,
But
Covina,
California.
California. Yeah.
Are you aware the folks that live here trying to get out?
Yes, yes, yes.
Did you meet
Absolutely.
them on the road?
We saw them all on the highway. But you know, what we've seen, we've been trying to move to California for years, and what we've seen is that through God's grace, He will make our experience different from everyone else's experience.
Okay.
And so we were hearing about all the fire stories here, and where we are is paradise.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're
Well,
doing
welcome.
great. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here, man.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
wish you were. There's a lot of empty spaces
Yeah,
out there now.
yeah, I know. It's a buyer's market, right?
That's right. Well, I don't know about LA though. I mean, California, things are so high now.
Yeah, it's
It's,
expensive.
it's through the roof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
But
is.
welcome, man.
Thank you so much. We're fans of the show. We love it.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Your name?
My name, Catherine.
Oh,
Catherine.
Kathleen. And you're from, are you guys together?
Yeah, we're a family, yeah.
Someone else?
All of us.
Oh, all together?
I'm black. She white.
You married, you married to a black man? What? No, I'm playing. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
You listen to the show? And when you first heard the first show, do you remember what was your impression?
It took me a while, actually, in all honesty.
Yeah, no, I want to.
I'm originally from London, and I've been in the States about 10 years. We've been married for how many years now? 11 years. Are you okay? Oh, I hit her in the eye, I'm sorry. Yeah, it took me a while.
Oh, yeah?
Initially, yeah.
And why?
Because it was quite different and abrupt at first, some of the things he was saying. So
Yeah.
it took me a while. He would have it on in the house. And yeah, it took a while. But I'm a fan now. So
And how did you finally come around?
forgiving my parents.
Oh, that'll do it.
So he did it about
Absolutely.
6 months before, 7, 8 months before, and I saw a massive change in him, and that affected our relationship.
Right
and
on.
then I did the same thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I
Love
got these-
conquers all. What did your mother say when you went to her?
She took it better than I thought, actually. I thought from some of the issues like growing up, I thought that, she never ever really said sorry. So she actually took it really well, and she actually apologized. But I didn't go in with the expectation of anything.
Right
so.
on.
And my dad was great as well. So it went a lot better than I thought.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's good.
Well, amazing.
Yeah.
Now your kids have a chance to live.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And what's your name?
Cheyenne, nice to meet you.
You too, Cheyenne.
Yeah.
I used to watch, Cheyenne is a movie, it used to be a cowboy movie or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yes.
Hey, Cheyenne. And welcome. Have you heard the show?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
19. You look much younger. What's your impression of the show? Anything you disagree with?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I love your amazings.
Amazing. That's right. Any questions about anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else first time?
Do you want to say your name?
Oh, yeah. What's your name? No? What's your name, sir?
Anthony,
Hey, Anthony. How old are you?
8.
Amazing. Are you a beta or alpha?
Alpha?
You're alpha. That's right.
He goes around the house doing different things.
That's right. You want to tell me your name?
Alea?
How old are you?
6.
Right on. Are you a beta or alpha?
Alpha.
Right on. See there? When the parents get right, they raise alpha children. So I'm surprised though that the government can tell the bank to not give someone else their own money. Isn't that like amazing? Look like the bank would say, no, I'm not listening. This money doesn't belong to me, it belongs to them. And because the bank should be like a business and not controlled by the government. But it's coming to America, so it's already in the making. It really already happening. And so I would get ready for it. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Yes, sir.
That's already happened to a couple people here in America.
What
that
happened?
have been banned from banks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's just not publicized like that, but there are people that have been revoked from banking privileges, PayPal, all that other kind of stuff for.
See, it's already happening. No wonder they're not against Canada doing it. What a mess, huh?
Show is.
I never imagined that this would happen in America. It just doesn't seem like it's possible. But it's so possible. Like when I heard this report about that money thing, we were just crypto and all that. I'm like, what the millennials going to do now? Because a whole lot of millennials are into the crypto thing. And at one time it seemed like a safe way to work your money. But that's starting to change. Any questions? Anybody have a life this week? Amazing. Nobody else had one? No. Oh, 2, 3. Can I get 4? There we go. So no one have a question for me, right? I have a question. How do you see life?
How do I see life?
When you think of life, do you ever think of life? What's your ideas of life?
Life is amazing.
It's amazing?
It
In what
truly
way?
is. Because I see life as kind of, I've had these moments where I experience life in stop motion, where it's like everything exists in very particular moments. And that moment is basically accumulation of everything that led up to that, which really amounts for like endless possibilities that could happen after. And I think the true happiness and like peace in life is this appreciation and gratefulness to what brought you to the present. And that could be the good and the bad, and the pain and the pleasure. I guess I don't look at life in a particular way. Life is just more of a way of existing.
When you say a particular way, you have no ideas about life?
No, I try not to put any judgment or try to look at it in a particular way. I try to be really open-minded about life.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Had you, before you woke up, did you have ideas about life, the way things should be, the way they should go? And
I
all
have
that
in the
kind of stuff?
past, yeah.
And what were do you remember what they were at the time?
I know there's times in my life where I felt like I needed to impress people, or I needed to live a certain way, act a certain way, dress a certain way. And then I kind of realized when you go down that path, you start to lose who you really are and who you're meant to be. And the world can manipulate you into becoming anything. And you at a certain point, it could lead down a path of self-destruction.
Are you married?
No.
Have you ever dated?
Yes.
And when you dated, did you have any idea the way that should go?
The way it should go?
Like, yeah, when you were dating, did you have any ideas the way it should happen, what should happen, the way it should go, a way your girl should act or not act, or the way you should be or not be with her?
In the past, yeah. I think when people first meet each other, it's very common for people to just want to be accepted and want to be liked. And sometimes along the way, when we're trying to get to know someone, we will say things that we know they want to hear, and won't.
When you say we, you mean you?
Me in the past.
Oh, okay.
Not me now, but
Right. Well, yeah.
and I see it amongst like friends and stuff that, you know, they'll say things that they know
You
the
would
other
expect
person.
your girlfriend to say certain things or act a certain way,
Yeah,
so that you would expect that so she can prove that she like you.
yeah,
And what,
and we would act that way so they could like us.
when you say we, who are you talking about?
I'm saying
Is there
like
someone attached to you?
no, like just
You would
just
act
peop-
that way, right? So
just
they can
people in
accept
general.
you.
I think we want people to like
Who
us.
are we? I'm trying to have a conversation with you about you.
Sure.
Would you do things expecting? Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll speak for myself.
Thanks, finally.
Sorry.
There's this
I
reporter
have this
that I
same-
watch some mornings, and every time she says something, she always have a we. We love you. Good morning, welcome to the show. We love you. I'm like, who are we? I don't see anybody there but her. But anyway.
The reason I'm saying we is because I have this similar conversation with a lot of friends, and they kind of have similar experiences.
Right.
So,
And so when you were
I
dating,
assume that like a lot of people feel.
assume.
Yeah, and that's probably
That's
probably a mistake.
word.
But I'll say that usually I want people to like me. I want people to accept me, and sometimes that means that I'll say things that I don't really mean.
Yeah. Most of the time, lady, the guys are lying to you.
Yep.
They have an agenda. And most of the time, the ladies are lying guys. They have one too. They're not being honest because of that expectation.
Yep.
They want something back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think over time, when you know, months, years go by, situations come up, certain conflicts where the real you comes out.
Yeah.
And then they start to see that you weren't like you were when I first met you.
Yeah.
And that's when people start hating each other, I think, is when they start seeing that they think that you changed, but really you weren't you in the beginning. You were being the person you thought they wanted you to be.
Yeah.
So I think over time, like if I and people in general could just be more honest when we first meet people, that, you know, maybe
Be
people
honest.
will be more accepting of who people are and appreciate everyone's, you know, unique perspectives and unique outlooks on life.
Be honest about what?
About, you know, if there's something that person you don't like, or something, you know, if there's a disagreement over, you know, you like this but she likes that, and not faking it just to have her like you.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
The young lady want to respond. How do you see life, whole life period?
I think life is beautiful.
In what way?
It's just beautiful. I don't know. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm grateful for the good experiences, the bad experiences.
So you see whole life as being beautiful?
Life has challenges and it does get hard, but I think life is beautiful. It's a gift from God.
What is hard about challenges?
What is hard about challenges? My reaction to it, the way I handle it.
Good point. And if you think life is so beautiful and you just love it, why do you react to challenges?
That's how I'm conditioned.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Okay. Jesse, you're here. Anybody else want to respond to how you see life? I want to know how you see life, whole life. Right here first. Thank you. Yes, sir.
What's the question?
What you raise your hand for? No, I'm playing. How do you see life, period? What's your idea about life?
Well, life, I figured out that I should just try to figure out how to be myself, because if other people don't like it, that's their problem. And I agree with what he was saying, is if you're in a relationship, then being yourself is important, because then they know what they're dealing with, and it just makes things easier for everybody.
And where did you get that idea from? From him?
Well, I've been in a relationship, I think it could be codependent sometimes.
It's like a drug?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I like it. And, well, sometimes she gets upset with the things I do and stuff, and I was like, I never tried to hide who I am. And I'm like, maybe you don't love me unconditionally, you know, and...
What is unconditional love?
I guess when you maybe love yourself and accept other people, but or if you don't love yourself, then to treat other people only as much as you love yourself. Sincerity, being sincere.
You love yourself?
Sometimes.
And sometimes you don't?
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like why you don't love yourself sometimes?
I guess...
You wake up one morning and say, you know what, this is Wednesday. I'm not going to love myself this day.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of a baby.
What?
I'm kind of a baby.
You kind of a baby?
Yeah, because I like it when things go my way, and I feel really spoiled, and
yeah.
So I'm appreciative. And then when, like an example, I got some stuff for the TV to get it working, and it didn't work the way it's supposed to work, and I got really upset because I had it hooked up right. They're bad because the equipment that I bought doesn't work, and so it affected my mood because I wanted the equipment to work, but I couldn't make it work.
And when you were affected by it, did it work then?
No, and it hurt her too. It hurt my.
So what was the purpose of you getting upset if you're going to have the same problem?
I don't know. I guess I mean the purpose to try to get attention. You know,
From who,
I
the
think
TV or the woman?
from her, I guess, or I don't know if I really want attention. I just want to be heard. I like this is the way things should be. When you know get something in order, it should work right and things should work
So you were
right.
yelling at her about this thing not working right?
Well, not at her, just out loud. I was like, well,
What was
maybe.
the purpose of it?
Well, I'm thinking like maybe other people will hear this and other people have a voice and say the same thing, and then maybe things will be better.
So you thought you were at home yelling at the TV, and you thought other people may hear you yelling and it would make things better?
Yeah, I guess maybe
What?
like the people.
You smoke pot?
No,
Oh, good.
but I was thinking maybe, because I know the phones listen to us, and the technology. I mean, I
So
think
you
it
thought
does.
maybe a spy was listening in
They do.
under technology.
The technology, I think, listens to people, yeah.
And
Sure
so that's why
does.
so when you overreact, you yell loud in case the spy was, the technology
Yeah, I want
was
them to
listening?
know. I want them to know I'm upset about it, and I'm upset with them.
I give you permission to smoke pot.
I tried it. I
I'm
tried it
playing.
before.
Don't smoke pot. What the? What do you think about that right now? Now that you're saying this out loud to us, what do you hear about yourself?
Well, even whatever my intentions were, the way it worked out wasn't helpful to her, and maybe it didn't help me out, and the thing still doesn't work.
See there? And the spy didn't come over and fix it.
Yeah, they did not. But I think that they broke it. Because it's all online, so they can, now I have to buy another part, you see? And they're like, well, they made more money, So, because it worked at first. Well, it didn't work at first, and then it did work.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it works now. Good.
Amazing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nick, did you yell at your computer when it didn't work?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh. Cheyenne, how do you see life at your age? How do you see life? What's your idea about life?
I'm grateful and appreciative of life.
You are?
And I'm allowing God to help me come out of myself and take every day one step at a time by doing the silent prayer and staying out of my head. And that helps me separate myself from what the world wants and what I think I need for myself.
Yeah.
And just allowing God to show me how to do, daily life.
And did you go and forgive your father and your mother?
Yeah, my mom especially. I didn't have, any, I didn't have any issues with my dad, nothing
Most
that
people
scarred
don't hate
me.
their fathers.
Yeah.
It's the mother.
My mom, I had to forgive her.
And how does you went to her, and how did she react to it?
Yeah, she didn't take it very well. She didn't get angry with me, but, she got a little bit manipulative. And, so basically she tried to blame it on me, for not really having a connection with me. And that was hard, not my stepmom, Catherine, but, but through that, it showed me that I couldn't change her and that I just needed to forgive her and take it for what it was, see the good in her, even though, I was seeing the bad in her because God was showing me what I could become.
Yeah.
And so that allowed me to take some time and forgive her. And then, through that I was free. And every day since then, I've been, having a huge appreciation for life and everything that God can show me.
Why was it hard when she would try to manipulate you and put it back on you? Why was that hard for you?
It was hard for me because, with her words, she tried to make it seem like that she had all of these things to do, and that's why she couldn't give me the love that I needed growing up. And that basically, instead of just recognizing that, she should have been there for me and that we could have had a strong relationship, mother-daughter relationship, it kind of made it seem like that it was all my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
So it was
realized it
hard.
wasn't?
Yeah.
Good.
But it's okay, I know that there's things that I could have done, but as a child, it's hard to communicate that, this is the reason why I'm feeling like we're not close. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, as a child, there was nothing you could do,
Yeah,
really, because you're subject to the parents
right.
as a child, so there was nothing you could do about what was happening. Not at
Yeah.
all. So you talked to your father about these kinds of things,
Yes,
and he helped you through it?
yes.
So you're out of high school already, right?
Yes.
Are you working?
So I just moved, and I was working for 4 years at a job. So,
Oh, okay, good.
yeah.
Right
But
on.
I'm going to be back to working soon, very soon.
Amazing. You going to college?
Yes, I just applied and I got in, so.
And what's your major?
Marketing and business.
Oh, okay.
Trying to be like a stay-at-home mom so I can focus on the family.
But if you go to college, you're not going to stay at home.
Right. I know your views on college. but but I am trying to work from home so that I can focus on the family, and marketing and social media marketing there's a way that I can do it and focus on my husband, and
So you're not going to let the ego make you feel like you're equal to a man and you got to go to
Yeah.
work.
Yes, thankfully, my dad, I stayed with my dad when I was 12, so he raised me mainly, so I got away from my mom, and, he installed these principles in me from when I
Right.
was very young.
Yeah.
So he, showed me the way to live from very young. So
Right on.
I,
Amazing.
applied these principles very quickly in my life, and for years I've been working on, allowing myself to take orders from a man, but also, being feminine and those things, staying away from, the world, what the world tells you should be doing,
Yeah.
and things like that.
When you first heard that your father was getting married, do you remember how you felt about it when you first heard about it?
Well, I was 4 when I
Oh.
first met Catherine, so
okay.
they married a long time ago. But I've always known her as my mom, and I appreciate her so much.
Oh, good. So it never bothered you that he married someone else?
No.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was just, used to it from very young.
Right on. Amazing. What's your idea of life in the black shirt? Yeah.
I look at life as an interesting experience.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I wonder, what is this experience that we are all having together? And I do realize that we all make up the experience as one.
In what way?
Well, for example, we're all here.
Like when he was yelling at the machine so that somebody could hear. Did you hear him?
I did not.
Did you experience it?
I did not.
No, so what do you mean?
We're all here sharing this same experience. So we're all making up this experience right now.
And what experience?
This present moment that we're in.
And I'm just trying to, this is not a test, relax. This is a fellowship. No rights or wrong answers. Relax. So how are you sharing the experience right now? To be clear to me, because I'm black and slow.
So we're all here, right? And we're all sharing this same present moment together. So we're all interpreting it in a different way, but we're all here and we get to, I guess, share the same environment. So you're not going to notice other parts of what's going on, like in the world with Ukraine and Russia and all that. So you're not going to really care too much about what's going on that's not around you.
Right.
But we all care to be here and we all care to share the same experience together.
Does it bother you what, quote unquote, is happening with Russia and the United States?
Absolutely
Ukraine?
not.
It's not
no.
bother you at all?
No.
So you see whole life in what way?
As a learning experience, every day we're learning new things, and if you're not learning something new every day, you're not growing in the sense of learning what you can do to make this the most.
And what are you learning? And what did you learn either today or yesterday, if you remember?
To be here on time.
That's right. Amazing. So do you ever think about life like, wow, what is life
Yeah, I do.
really about?
Yeah.
You do? Mm-hmm. You got a sharp haircut, man. Who cut your hair? A black person?
I think he was Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice haircut.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You
Yeah.
too.
Thank you. So when you think about whole life, what is life really about?
I don't know, but I'm blessed to be able to experience this.
Yeah. When this young man was talking about in the old days before you woke up,
Mm-hmm.
how did you see life then? Do you remember?
I would do things without thinking about, is this a good choice or not a good choice? I would just make decisions without thinking first before what I'm doing.
Right.
And if you keep doing those type of things, you tend to repeat the same exact mistakes if you make a mistake.
100%.
And people will they will say, why does this keep happening to me? And there's a lesson in that to be learned. But if you're not learning that lesson, you're going to keep repeating that until you either fix what's going on and learn from that, or you could have very dire consequences.
How do you make decisions now?
By critically thinking about if it's a win to loss ratio, if it's a good outcome in whatever the situation is going to be, although you can't control what the outcome of anything is.
So you can't control the outcome of anything,
No.
but you do critical thinking. Did you say critical thinking?
Yeah.
So that you can try to determine the outcome?
Yeah, like if you're going to get mad at the TV, you're probably not going to be able to solve the situation in an easier manner as if you were to think, okay, what's actually going on? How can I fix this problem? Even though none of the equipment's working, try different things and see what, like if you experience one problem, right, you run into one issue, try to think about, okay, this did not work, so what can I do to make it better? Process of elimination.
Oh. And you do whole life that way?
I try to.
So if you're dating and your little critical race thing, critical...
Oh, no, not that.
Your little critical thinking thing doesn't work, right? Do you decide, let me dump this and find another one?
You come up with a strategy. Okay, this didn't work. How can I fix whatever is the issue, if there is one?
And does that work?
It tends to work, yeah.
It tends to work?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Okay. The young lady behind you and then the guy. What do you think of life? Your idea about life? What's your idea about life?
I would say, in all honesty,
What's wrong? Don't rub on the back, man. Take your hands off her, mama. Don't you hate it when you want to cry? You want to cry, you can't speak, and mama rubs your back. That makes you want to really boo-hoo. No problem. Be yourself. This is non-judgmental meeting, really. So don't worry about that. While she's getting her thought, what made you rub her back, mama?
Well, I just wanted to give her that mama love, you know? Make her feel even worse.
It does. Right away he went. Okay.
So I'll go real quick.
While she's, let her
some
get
time.
herself together.
So-
What's your idea of life?
So my idea of life, and I was actually thinking about this probably on the way here. I see life as a school, almost like a spiritual school. For instance, if we go outside and we don't have on, if it's snowing outside or if it's cold, if we don't have on the right clothing, then we're not properly suited for that environment, so we'll suffer. And for instance, if we plant a seed in the ground and it grows a harvest, what is God teaching us through all of these things? They're pointing to spiritual realities that are deeper than this reality.
And how do you see life in dealing with people, places, and things? You know, like real life, not
Real life.
planting a seed in the ground.
Okay.
But like living life and that kind of stuff, everyday stuff.
Everyday stuff. I see it as an opportunity to bring light into the world. That's the way I see life. Because when I returned to the Father gave me his light. And so I want to see that light spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. You've always been that way?
When I returned to the Father, I did. Once I forgave my mom and she threw up, that's what happened. So
She threw up?
Yeah.
You say she threw up?
Yeah,
All the hell came out of her.
Yeah. I forgave her and she just like, she couldn't believe it. She got sick. She like, she stopped the conversation. She was like, I can't take this. And
That
just-
love rebuked her.
Yeah. It was like Satan was coming out of her.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right. She was vicious. I saw something I'd never seen in my life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is she still living?
Oh yeah, she's the sweetest thing you ever want to meet. Hey baby. But I saw the hell that day.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
You ready? man?
How do you see whole life? What's your idea of whole life? Life, period.
I would say, in all honesty, I kind of struggle with this question.
Yeah.
I was raised by a very controlling mother and family, and my dad like has this, still to this day, I've tried to talk to him about it a couple of times, this attitude of, how do I say it, like same S, different day. Does that make sense?
The S part?
Yeah, the
Yeah, that
S-H-I-T.
makes sense.
So he'd be like, he would use it every day, like in conversations, like, how are you? And he'd be like, same, different day, you know, nothing's gone on. So I was kind of raised with a very negative kind of outlook on life.
Right.
So that still is something like I'm very grateful for everything that I have and everything the Lord has provided me with, for an amazing husband and family. But I definitely struggle with that, like my view on life and being
And what do you struggle with?
peace.
Without going too personal, can you give me an example of what you struggle with?
Being at peace.
Being at peace, and meaning what?
Sorry.
No, don't apologize for that.
I don't know how to answer.
What'd you say?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said, I don't know how to answer.
You don't know how to answer?
I'm so sorry.
I love the way the Europeans speak. Good morning, sir. You want coffee? I have struggling with this.
Yes.
What does it feel like not to have peace? What is that?
Like, I feel like I'm always going on to the next thing, and that's a family trait as well, like being so busy with life that I don't, like, he's always telling me, like, being the president, and that's something I'm actively working on, being committed to the silent prayer every morning and every night, and
Right.
just relaxing, and just like, because time goes so quick. Like, I've been in America 10 years, and it felt like yesterday.
Yeah.
And, you know, the kids growing quicker and everything just changing so quickly that I want to enjoy life. And
Right.
I struggle to, like, just relax and just enjoy moments. Like, you always just, you know, slow down and, you know, smell the roses and
Right.
enjoy your time. But I'm always, like, thinking about what I got to do or what I need to achieve or what I got to, you know. So I'm just trying to,
And so do you struggle not to think that way? Huh?
yeah, it seems, to me, it seems partly with the way they're raised and maybe the way they am. I don't know, like, just not being relaxed.
Everybody in the world was raised that way. Because
Yeah.
everybody struggled with thought. What's the name of that rapper guy that we talked about a little bit about?
Kanye West.
Oh yeah, Kanye West
yeah.
said in if it's
Kanye
true, in an article or somewhere, that he asked God to, what did he ask?
To keep his mind sane.
He asked God to keep his mind sane, because everybody has an insane mind until they overcome it. Why do you struggle with something that you can't repair? Why do you struggle with that?
That I can't repair?
I'm sorry?
I don't understand what you mean.
You know, yeah, you know that the mind is drive you nuts. It
Yeah.
won't allow you to have peace. And so you're struggling trying to change that, right? Oh,
Yeah.
am I right about that?
Yeah.
And how long have you been trying to change that?
Probably a long time, right? You know, like even the sleeping as well. Like he sleeps 6 hours and he's like straight, and I'm like at 8 hours, and I wake up and I feel like I just went
You're
to sleep.
still a mess.
And I was asking the Lord to reveal to me, it was just a couple of days ago, like to help me deal with some of the things, like what am I thinking about at night? What's going on to why I'm not getting good REM sleep and I'm not rested.
Right.
But he does 5-6 hours and he's good. So it's like, and he woke me up at like 4 a.m. about 2 or 3 nights ago, and I got up, went to the bathroom, and I woke up. You know when you're like half asleep and you still remember like what you was dreaming about?
Right.
I was solving 2 issues at the same time while I was asleep. I was like, and this is exactly why, you know?
What a mess.
Yeah.
Why do you struggle with it after all this time knowing there's nothing you can do about it? Why
don't
not
know.
just let go?
But I think that goes back to the control thing of like how I was raised.
Right.
That it's just like so prominent from like all the women in my family. Like it's taken me this amount of time to, you know, I'm with an alpha male, and it's only been the last, what was it, year that we've been listening to you, and it's been, this last year has been the most growth that I've had in like forever.
Yeah.
Like as regards to changing fundamental things that is installed in you from, you know, yay high.
Yeah.
And things that I'm trying to change so that this one particularly doesn't do the same that I've done. So
Yeah, absolutely.
getting there.
So stop, you can't change your mind. You can't do anything about it. You have to let go.
Yeah.
You're not convinced yet that all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything?
We've been debating about this actually. So I'm not quite there on that. I struggle with thinking that completely 100% of thoughts are lies.
You struggle with that?
I struggle with that, yeah.
And so Satan got you struggling with that too?
Yeah.
So Satan tell you all thoughts are not all lies. He's lying. And you're like, okay, Daddy, let's go. But
yeah.
if you don't believe all thoughts are all lies all the time, why you don't have peace, you're struggling with it, you want to overcome it. Why do you want to overcome the thoughts if you don't believe they're lying to you?
That's a really good point.
I'm sorry?
That's a good point. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What you're saying. Yeah.
And the answer is what?
I mean, I guess maybe I'm not looking at it right, because what you're saying seems correct.
Yeah.
So
You're looking at it the wrong way.
yeah, my perspective maybe is probably off.
There's nothing you can do about thoughts. All thoughts are all lies. That's why you have to let go and let God handle it. That's what the prayer is for, so you can see of yourself you can do nothing.
I think that's what he was saying as well this week about completely trust. Do I completely trust
Yeah.
God?
You're not all in.
I'm not, and that's what he said. He's like, you got to be completely in to completely trust him, to be able to let go of everything.
Yeah. Because if you believe thoughts, what you're saying is you believe Satan. You worship evil.
Mm.
And you don't believe God at all. It just sounds good to say, oh, I'm a good Christian, I just believe God, and God is wonderful, and I just love life. And you go right and believe Satan. You're really worshiping Satan, pretending to be worshiping God. It's just a good feeling to say that you believe in God. You don't believe in God. Because you can only serve one God. So either you serve the imagination or you serve God. You can't be in and out.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So don't let Satan trick you. Oh, you're serving God today. You're a wonderful Christian. Come on back over here, daughter, so I can keep you up all night. I don't want you to doubt thoughts. I want you to believe thoughts, but believe God. That's okay.
It's like half in, half out.
Yeah, you're not in with God at all. You're all in with Satan. Anybody that believes any thoughts, Satan your daddy. Just know you're worshiping evil, and it just feels good to say, I believe in God. It's just a feeling, but
So
you
how
don't
do
mean it.
So how do you change that?
By letting go. No, just do the silent prayer so God can separate you. You have to be all in and not fight against anything. You trust Satan to fight for you, but you don't trust God to fight for you. Because you don't believe he really will in those difficult times. You don't believe God will fight in those moments. You believe Satan will.
Okay.
And so you go into critical thinking. Oh, sorry. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you got to decide who you're going to trust, Satan or God. Because if you're in your thoughts trying to protect anything, and they're not your thoughts, they're not your own, then you're worshiping Satan.
Okay.
Really, really. Y'all hear that? Because you can't be in the light and the darkness. You're either of the light or you're of the darkness. You're either all in or you're not. There's no half step in here. You can't play God the way we play one another. You know what I'm saying? There used to be a saying that 99 and a half won't do. You got to do 100. I'm serious. That's why you're still suffering, because you still worship the devil. Oh, like I'm silently praying. And while you're sitting there silently praying, Satan said, oh, you got to go wash dishes. Oh, you owe Leroy some money. Sue took your money. You're really worshiping Satan sitting there in prayer.
Wow.
Because you listen to his voice rather than let it pass. You got to be all in or not. That's the only way you're going to overcome the world.
So
You can't half step.
being all in, what does that completely look like?
Let life happen. No matter what happens in life, let it happen.
That's hard, bro.
So what else?
That's hard.
What's hard about it?
Oh, she passing the mic. That is a concept that I wrestled with for a while.
I understand that.
Because when you're raised in this world, you're raised that if you want something to happen, you need to make it happen.
Yeah.
Or you're weak.
Yep.
And so that's been installed in us very
Everybody
young.
been raised that way.
Yep.
Even drug addict
Yep.
on the street.
Yep. So releasing control it feels like a weakness in the beginning.
That's so deep, man. But that's strength.
Yeah.
Your weakness is your strength. When you realize that there's nothing you can control, absolutely nothing, then you'll be all in. And in your weakness, you'll be made strong. But as long as you're trying to control anything and not just let life happen, then you're being made weak. What are you afraid of?
With me?
To let go, to be all in.
Oh no, I was saying that's how I used to think. Oh, now.
Oh, you're not like that now? You're all in now?
I'm all in.
Oh, okay.
I
You don't
trust the
control
Father
anything.
With everything,
Okay.
good, bad, indifferent. Doesn't matter if something seamlessly happened is bad. It doesn't matter if it's happening something that seems like it's happening good.
Yeah.
All is well.
So you got to be. You understand what it means to be all in. No matter what's happening, no matter what it is. I don't care what your friends talking about you. Your mama died, or she's dying. Okay, she's dying. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? Like when you started to cry a little bit, tear up a little, and he started rubbing your back. He should have done that. He should let you go through it, let that pass through. Because now you get in the habit of wanting someone to rub your back when you want to boo-hoo. You find yourself, and that feels so good. Like you're saved now when you rub your back. Oh, he loved me. Look how you rubbing my back. And then if he doesn't rub the back, let's say you're out somewhere and you start to tear up, and he doesn't rub the back, he's right there, but he's not touching you. Oh, he doesn't love me. He didn't rub my back this time. He's looking at another woman. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So you got to be all in, either with the devil or with God. God will take care of you. He really will. You know how you believe Satan will take care of you, right?
Well, I didn't really think.
Let her have the mic, woman.
I didn't really think that until this conversation. I didn't really think that. I knew I wasn't completely 100% in trusting God.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that I was allowing Satan to do that, you know?
Who would you think were doing it?
That's what I'm saying. Like now that I'm logically thinking about it, what you're saying makes sense.
Right, and that's why I want you to, I'm encouraging you to get to know yourself. You're going to see how dumb you are. We are so dumb, we really think we're doing that. We don't even accept that Satan is doing it. We take credit for that. Even though we can't change it, we still take credit for it. But that's how Satan deceives you. The heart is wicked. It's so wicked, I cannot find the words to say. Your little heart is more about mama or daddy or what somebody did. The heart is wicked, deeply wicked. And the light of the Father will clear that up, but you got to be all in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
You can't read about it and make it happen. You can't listen to a talk show and make it happen. You can't pray to the Lord and make it happen. You got to be all in. You got to let go.
Yeah, and I think our emotions, lastly, are very deceptive.
Very much so.
Like, the trickery is just ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So.
Amazing. See, you've been saved right now. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So stop. You doing the silent prayer?
Yeah.
Okay, stay with it.
Thank you.
And just watch those eyes. We are to pray and watch. That's it. Without any opinion. All right? You're welcome. No. Yeah, so many people want to talk. Did you have your hand, Raymond?
Yes.
What's your idea about life?
It's a gift that we should share it. And the only way we can share it is to take it one moment at a time, because the moment is all we have in this life.
That sounds so beautiful, huh? What do you mean by that, though? It just sounds good, but what do you mean? Have you stopped judging yourself?
I believe I have.
Have you stopped hating yourself?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good, about time. It only took 32 years. Nice, Raymond, that's cool, man.
Thank you.
The young lady right behind you. That's a man. I know it's hard to tell nowadays, but and then I'm gonna come to you. And everyone, what's your idea about life?
I think it's just a bunch of experiences. I think as I've been able to be an observer of life rather than feeling like life was like working against me, I've been able to clearly see different situations that would ideally take me out of character or cause me to overreact, and just realizing how people project their own injuries on you. So yeah, I've just been kind of gracefully flowing through life.
Do you ever try to make anything work?
No, I think sometimes I'm like, okay, how can I figure this out myself? But then I think after that moment, I'm kind of like, okay, let me just allow God to take control of the situation.
Do you ever yell at Hassan because he just doesn't do it your way, or he acting all like he's not in love?
I don't think I ever actually yell. Maybe sometimes, I don't know.
Do you or don't you?
But I mean, yeah, like I think every once in a while we'll probably get in a disagreement, but he's pretty strict of like being like, no, you can go think about this and then you can talk to me later. So.
And so, but sometimes you try to make him listen. Let's have this conversation now.
Yeah, I mean, yes, because I'm very like about like conflict resolution.
Oh,
and
Lord.
so
There you go, God.
I don't think that's a horrible thing. I
You're
mean,
conflict resolution.
I'm
What does
big
that
about
mean?
like conflict resolution. So
What
like
does that mean?
this is the situation, like let's figure it out. And so I think, yeah, sometimes he's just like, no, you need to go figure this out.
Good
and
for
then
him.
we can talk about
And do
it.
you think, this man don't love me? Oh, you
No.
look like Jesus telling me to go figure it out.
I think the whole Jesus thing definitely gets it going, but no, I mean, no, I don't think I ever am like, oh, he doesn't love me. I think it genuinely is out of love.
Have you ever met a man that would make you take care of you and not blame him for your issues?
Wait, can you say that again?
Like when he tell you, no, you got to go figure it out for yourself. I'm not going to be involved in your conflict issues. Have you ever met a man that was straight up with you like that?
No.
And so was it hard, or is it hard to accept that?
No, it actually isn't, because I know that that's what I needed. I think in my other relationships, I definitely was like the man of the relationship.
Yeah.
So I was like genuinely looking for somebody to like actually step up and like lead me, right?
Right on.
I don't want to be a man. So yeah, I think for me, it's like growing in that, like, okay, this feels authentic, this feels natural.
And did you give him a hard time in the beginning at all, or you just accepted it? Okay, Jesus is here, I can relax.
No, yeah, I think for the most part, I've accepted it. Like, I mean, obviously, I always say that we've probably been at least 3 different people throughout the time of our relationship, in a good way.
You've been 3 people?
Yeah,
do you
like just
mean?
like experiences, like we've been growing a lot, like through the course of our relationship. And I think with every new transition, there's always like a conversation. So yeah, I think.
And so, real fast, what do you mean you're a conflict resolution person?
I told you, like, if there's a problem that comes up, I'm like, okay, this is the problem, let's address it.
Oh, okay.
Just to kind of get to the root
Meaning,
of it.
let's talk about it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
You have a degree?
Huh?
You went to college?
I did.
No wonder.
I did, but I mean, I know your views about that, but
What's my
I feel
views?
like I know that you
Cheyenne
think it
said
makes
the same
people
thing.
more intellectual and stuff like that, but I don't. I think I'm pretty good about like critical thinking, and I have an open mind, so I'm not like set in a view or anything like that. I'm like open to
And
differences
when you're
of
good
opinion.
at critical thinking, where are you getting those thoughts from that you're using to be so good at?
Well, I mean, obviously, like I'm saved, like I'm born again. So for
Obviously.
me, I think just my relationship with God naturally, like he's always going to show me discernment, and I can, be hearing something, and if I know that like it's not of God, like if it's not of His Spirit, like I'm naturally going to reject it.
So are you all in with God?
Absolutely.
And being all in with Him, do you still need critical thinking?
No, I'm not saying that right now, but I'm just saying in general, right? Like just allowing His discernment. And I think
okay.
that's essentially like critical thinking, is being able to like discern whether it's coming from your flesh or your spirit.
Interesting. Had you thought about life before? Like, what is life really about?
No, not really.
And why not?
I don't know. I think, yeah, for the most part, I just kind of like go with the flow of things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Is that a good question, though?
Yeah.
What is life about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, right here. And then I'll come here.
I wanted to answer the biblical question because I felt like it kind of falls into everything that you've been
The
talking
biblical question
about.
from this past week?
Uh-huh.
What's the biblical question?
Is it hard to separate the you from the not you?
Yeah, and my answer would be no, because the separation actually comes from God. I think the hard part is letting go for people, letting go and letting God.
For you?
For me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for me.
And what's hard about that?
It's not hard. The separation, hard to separate the you from the
Oh,
not you is not
okay,
hard. My
okay.
answer is that it's not hard because it's God that does it. Is the letting go part, letting go and letting God is the hard part. But God actually, when you become aware, God is the one that actually separates you from the not you.
And so what's your idea about life?
My idea about life now is being in the presence of God, and that it's purposeful, and that I'm grateful and I appreciate that I have life. And I just move through it as it goes.
Oh, okay.
Move through it, being in the presence of God, being aware so that I can do what's right.
Amazing. Okay. Yes, sir. I'm looking at the clock now, and I got to end on time. So we're going to move a little faster.
I had
Yes,
a
sir.
dream
What's your
where-
idea about life?
Well, I had a dream that I asked God that question, and He made me live every person's life. And when I came to, I said, "Is that what it's all about?" And He said, "What is it?" I go, "Recognizing patterns all the time, just pattern recognition." He said, probably to you, that's all life is. And I said, but that's not a great message. Can you tell me more like what you told Jesus? I go, do you have a better message? And he goes, yeah, I do. And I go, okay, great. What's the message?
You had all this long conversation with God?
And he goes,
Were
I
you
go,
still asleep?
But I was asleep. And
You were dreaming.
I was dreaming. And he says, well, he didn't say anything for eternity. I just kept asking him. And when I got upset, I said, well, God, what's the message? And he said, stop asking questions.
You did?
Yeah, that's what he says. It's just stop asking questions, Paul.
Amazing. So you met your father for the first time in how many years?
Since birth, 49 years.
Wow. And his father was here last Sunday, and they had just met after 49 years. Amazing. And so how did you meet him? How's it going now?
He calls me every day to talk. He has a lot to talk about to make up for time. I find it exhausting, like work. It was not a job I thought I was going to get involved with. It's finding a new father or finding my father.
Right.
It's a whole new life. It's kind of a whole new experience. So.
In what way?
Well, I mean, just learning about a different culture, different thought processes. That my brother, he has the same thought process my brother has, and I'm the opposite of my brother. So. He thinks nothing like I do. Like he doesn't even feel like my father, but I know that he is because of DNA and because of the history. So it's
and
kind of
you went
odd.
and met his family, the rest of your family members.
I met
right?
them. They're awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it was
Well,
pretty
be
cool.
patient with him.
Right.
He might not understand the way you do.
Right. No, I exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. What's your idea about life?
One big lesson over and over, I guess, good and bad.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a, I've thought of that question a lot. In different times in my life, I thought the answer was just different, you know, weird, crazy, fast. It goes fast.
Nice. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask Hassan and then Hake, and then I've got to move on. Hassan, what's your idea about life?
Can I nominate him to go?
Did nominate him to do what?
To give his explanation?
About your life?
No, just I want to kind of hear his thing.
You'll hear it after a while. Let me hear yours.
Okay.
Are you? What?
Well, it's funny because now I think that like I think life we when we're in the fallen state, we're trying to get all this stuff outside to make us happy, and we think that if we don't get all these things, that it's gonna make us miserable.
Yeah.
Like if we don't get this house, if we don't get this job, if we don't do this, this is gonna make me miserable. But really, not being obedient to God is what's gonna have you be miserable.
And what's being obedient to God?
By letting go and not thinking, believing the thoughts that you need this, because it would never end. Right. So that is the train of misery. And if we stop thinking that if we don't get all these things, that's not the miserable thing. The miserable thing is not having the peace. And I think through the obedience and just letting go, even if you don't have the house or the job or the this, or you're living on the side of the street, which God won't let happen, you know, but.
Why would he let that happen?
If you're.
There are a whole lot of folks out there believe in God.
I don't think so.
Well, they think they do, though.
They think they do.
They know the Bible, they know the scriptures and everything, but they live it on the streets.
Right. But like you said, anyone who's truly a son of God or, you know, obedient to God, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
Because you're gonna do the right thing. So
amazing.
Yeah, so I think that's probably what the whole thing is okay. Not thinking that not having something is gonna make you miserable. Chasing those things is what's gonna have you be miserable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. So let me find out what's wrong with you. What's your idea about life?
Life, actually, you have to understand, there has been a war been raging for thousands of years between good and evil is real, and spirits are real. So if you're living in this world and you think that your life results about getting a job and an education and dying, that's what they want you, that's the program they have created for you to accept and believe, that you're born, get a job, get a career, and die. But the reality is, there's a war been waging. That's why when you see the violence and you see the people in poverty and the other countries, there's a real evil war been raging. And now when you accept that you are a soldier, if you want to be a soldier and you're awake and you fight that evil, you're no longer a prisoner. You're no longer going to have those nightmares. And people are possessed. People who have nightmares. She's saying she has nightmares. She can't sleep. She's got demons. She needs an exorcism. I'm being honest. It's not a joke. People are possessed. There are demonic demons possess people.
And so your idea about life, long story short,
is
war. What?
There's a war, spiritual war. There's an actual evil war happening among us. And you have to understand an evil is real and people do get possessed. And you have to accept God to remove the evil.
And how do you accept that?
You have to get that. You have to believe in. You have to reject Satan as your daddy, right?
And how do you do that?
You have to say, I no longer want to worship the devil. I don't want those things. I don't want to live in that darkness. I don't want to live in that perverity. Whatever you're doing that's causing your life to be miserable, you have to make a decision.
And how do you do that?
You have to accept Christ.
Accept what?
Accept Christ as your Lord and Savior.
And how do you do that?
You pray, and you ask for forgiveness, and you want to walk in the light of God. No more walking in the darkness of living in sin.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, man. Real fast here, and nobody else raise your hand. No. Right here.
What he was saying about, accepting Jesus Christ as your Savior, I think it is about praying and asking for forgiveness, for your sins and your trespasses. But I think it gets more literal, as you say, letting go. Following the commandments because they're there for a reason, and just living in the moment, like you said. Like this morning, my girlfriend, we wake up, we do the same thing every day. We wake up and then we go to the gym, and she's stressing about getting to her gym class on time. We get there on time every week, but she's stressing to me and just making life miserable for both of us, like by stressing over these small little things. And then she's stressing about getting to work on time. We get to work on, she gets to work on time every time. She has no problems. But just letting go and realizing you have no control and you have to give it up to God.
And how do you do that?
You do that by like you said, not listening to those negative thoughts, because they're gonna be there sometimes, whether you want them to be or not.
Is there anything as a positive thought?
Yeah.
Should you listen to the positive thoughts?
I think you should listen to positive. I think you should listen to the scriptures, and I think you should listen to what God says. That's what I think you should.
Should you listen to positive thoughts?
Sometimes, if they align with what the scriptures say and what God says, yeah.
And where do they come from?
They come from studying the Word, and they come from prayer, and they come from ease and peace.
And where do the positive thoughts come from?
They come from peace, from being at peace with yourself.
So so you believe God talked to you?
I think God gives you opportunities. I don't think he talks directly to you. I think he spoke to us through scriptures and through prophets over time. I think he speaks to us through Christ. Yeah.
So you live with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Right.
That's the lady that came last week, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice lady.
Yeah, she's.
Did she contact her mother?
She hasn't yet.
Oh, okay.
But she wanted to be here, but she works on Sundays. I told her, she can block it out if she chooses to. She's an independent contractor, so she might return.
Right on.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Hey, what's your idea about the world? About life?
As I thought about it when you said that you were going to ask me, I was
before now, I thought that I didn't really have an idea about life. But as I think about how I actually live my life or have lived my life, I've thought about having like as much fun as possible. And also getting close to God or whatever, like following God. Like two things.
So when you think about life, you think about having fun,
Yeah.
and getting close to God,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
Two things.
Mhm.
Okay. Ernest, what do you think about life?
I don't really have an idea. I mean,
What's your idea about life?
I don't really have an idea.
You
at
never
this
think
point.
about life?
Huh?
You never think about life?
I'm not saying that.
Oh,
I'm saying I
what are
don't
you
necessarily have an idea about it at this point.
Why not?
Because it's all an illusion. You know, I used to have an idea of kind of what I wanted and what I wanted to be, what I wanted to have, but I don't really have those illusions now. Life is just life.
It's just life. You
Yeah.
have no idea about it at all now?
Not at this point. No, not really. Not anything that I can really grab a hold of and like tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Frankie?
Life is exciting. It's fun. Every day is different.
Huh? Speaking to the mic. It's so exciting. You need to
Yeah,
speak
it's
into the mic.
exciting. It's fun. It's every day is a new experience. Kind
Okay.
of jump out of bed, get to go run to do things. It's
Oh, man, huh?
Yeah.
No, I'm playing. So let me tell you this, because of time. So this is Bond's 32nd anniversary. This organization's been around 32 years. And when Bond first started, I had no idea about it, what's going to happen or what to do. I had no plans. And I just realized, he caused me to realize, once he woke me up and I went and forgave my mother and all that the real problem was anger. You know, it wasn't about race, it wasn't about anything but that. People's hearts are wicked. So I started Bond just to say that on the first day. I thought I would just talk to people about that. And at that time, it was primarily black people. And then one thing led to another one and another one and another one. And it is what it is today. It's known around the world now for the most part. And I have never made one plan, and I can honestly tell you I have no idea about it. I never had one idea about what to do with the organization or what's going to happen or any of those things. And even when I had my janitorial service, the only thing I knew, I wanted to be my own businessman. I wanted to be a businessman. And at the time I was working in computers, and I didn't have enough money to do that kind of stuff. So I looked around and I saw that it was easy to start a janitorial service, because all you need to do is have a little name, make up a flyer, put it on the cars, and people call you up and they say, hey, I want you to do a job for me. So I would go do the job. Well, I would go and give them an estimation. Then they would give me a down payment. I would rent my equipment and put the money back into the company. Because at the time I was working another job. And next thing I knew, I had 7 full-time employees. But I had no idea. I never made a plan for that company. And I just didn't have sense enough. I didn't see a need to, because I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what to do, because I had never ran a business before that. And so I didn't know what to do. And the reason I'm asking this question is because of that. When I started Bond, I knew no one. I didn't have anyone to help me. I didn't know anyone. And so it's just been amazing what has happened. Even with the janitorial service, people were telling me, this is why you should not listen to people. You can't start a janitorial service. The Mexicans are going to outbid you. Or because if you bid high, the Mexicans are going to bid low, and they'll get the job, right? And I didn't listen to that, though. I could not listen to that. I heard them say it, but there was something about it that caused me to start a janitorial service anyway. So I worked a full-time job, and at night I would go and clean the janitorial service. And then I got so busy that I quit my full-time job at the hospital, and I just started working at my janitorial service. And next thing, the need was for more employees. So I hired one woman, and she would work. And then I got busier. And then I realized I needed more help, so I hired the employees while I would go out and get more contracts. It just naturally grew that way. It's naturally, grew that way. The same way Bond has. And so over the years, I've realized that if you truly, truly, truly believe in God, that you're all in and you have no idea about life, not one idea, because all ideas come from hell. Anyone that has an idea about life, Satan is your daddy. And then you're going to try to make that idea work. If people don't act the way you like for them to act, then all of a sudden you got a problem. And if people do act the way you want them to act, you got a problem, because now you're going to try to hold on to those people or that person. If the business doesn't go the way your idea is, then you got a problem, because you're thinking, Satan would give you another idea for the business, and then that would not work. It'll just work temporarily, look like, and then you're all happy about, my business is working, praise the Lord, right? And then as soon as that goes wrong, you got to come up with another idea. Or if you're sick and you have an idea about being sick, you'll create another problem for yourself. Instead of allowing that to just pass through you, go through you, you'll go to a doctor somewhere and they'll give you unnecessary medication. And then the medication makes you worse. And then now you got to find another doctor, because you have an idea. Of ourselves, we know nothing, and of ourselves, we can do nothing. Any idea about life, period, is Satan is your daddy, because you're not making up those ideas. It's just that you're not paying enough attention to thoughts to see that the thoughts are making the ideas for you about life, how things should be, how things should not be. Your belief in Jesus. You don't believe in Jesus if you're not all in. If you're not walking in the spirit of Jesus. And Jesus walked in the spirit of the Father. He was eternal. And if you read the scripture, you would never hear where he asked God for anything. He didn't have to ask his Father for anything. Let your will be done, whatever, right? But he didn't ask for anything. So if we are truly children of God, there's no need to ask him for anything, because the Father would take care of you just like Satan been taking care of you all these years. Except that Satan is killing you, God will give you life. He already has everything for you, and he loves you, and he'll do much more for you than your own parents, than your own friends, or your own whatever, your own job. But you got to be all in. You cannot have any expectation that this should or should not happen, or I want this to happen, or that to happen. You have to always live in eternal with a wait-and-see attitude about all things. And that's what it means to believe in the Father. You trust the Father because you have no idea. And all we have is this very moment. God is not in the past, he's not in the future. He doesn't make you think about the future at all. He never has caused you to think about the future or the past, because he's not there. He's right here, right now, all the time. And so when you're trying to plan it out, when you're thinking about, well, what's the next idea? Or how am I going to, he knows your heart. He'll give you your heart's desire too. He really knows it. But you can't have, the one thing I can promise you, that any ideas are from Satan. Worry is from Satan. Can't sleep at night from Satan. After you read the scripture, you still have conflict. You don't have peace, because you want things to be your ideal way, instead of just doing what's in front of you, never doubting. And the way you don't doubt is just whenever the thoughts come, you have to let go. And you must practice being aware of thoughts at all times. And sometimes you will get caught because you're growing from it. Sometimes you will get caught up, but don't judge it. Just know you're caught up and you'll overcome it. Even if you repeat the same thought 1,000 times in one day, you let it go. And don't judge yourself for it. And a little bit of light is taking you away and away and away. The light got you in the same way the darkness have you. And eventually you're going to see that you're less connected to the darkness. It will become less. And you will start to grow in the confidence of your relationship with the Father, because He will take care of you. But you can't have any idea about life. You have to live life. You are life, and you have to live it. You can't plan it. And just saying you believe it doesn't work. You have to actually live it. You have to be totally in. If you worry about anything at any time, you're not in it. You're not with Him. Anybody disagree with that? And you can't make yourself believe in Him by reading the Bible. You can read the Bible till the cows come home. Really. You can know the scriptures up and down. You're not allowed to even have any ideas about anyone else. Not only can you not have them about yourself, if you're with the Father, you cannot have any idea about anyone, any other person. No idea. Yes, sir.
When you say you cannot, do you mean that you will not, or you're not allowed? Like, when you say you cannot, do you mean you
Cannot what?
When you say you cannot have an opinion about, say, the scripture or about other people or about yourself, do you mean that you will not if you're walking with the Father, or that you're not allowed to, like you shouldn't?
It's to have it it shows a lack of faith with God. That Satan is still your daddy.
Because you're not letting go.
You're not letting Him reveal. Someone mentioned the word reveal. You're not letting Him reveal it. Satan is interpreting even the Bible for you.
And
you could read the Bible, know the Bible, and Satan will interpret it. And it feels so warm and good, and you think you got it. And yet you have no peace.
So one other thing, could you explain the difference between, say, observation through maybe like fellowship, maybe even not like this, even like one or two people, 2 or 3 people, and then, the difference between, say, observation alone and observation in fellowship versus the conflict you're describing? Is it wrong to discuss scripture with 2 or 3 people that you're in the same kind, people from here or whatever? Is that conflict, or is that fellowship, that observation?
When you say what now? I'm sorry.
If you're, say, discussing, to make a very simple question, if you're discussing scripture, me, her, and we're just discussing it, after dinner, is that observation or is that conflict?
That's all ego.
Okay.
All ego. Really. Okay. Because now you feel good about, let's say you're sitting around a table with 2 or 3 people discussing scripture, right? And then you say something about the scripture, they go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Now you feel good.
What if it's not about the ego? I guess what if it's just like, I guess I would ask, how is fellowship with this many people different than just a conversation about God, I guess, or your belief, or not necessarily from the
as
ego?
Long as you
is it
know,
possible?
As long as you know you can see, and that you're not getting anything from it.
Yeah, just
at all.
Okay. Great
you
answer.
Don't feel good about it. You don't feel upset about it. You're not trying to prove it. Never try to prove anything to anyone. When you do that, you think you know. You have an idea. And you're trying to make somebody else accept your idea.
That's why there's no right or wrong answer in fellowship?
Right.
You're just there in the moment, together.
Hopefully that in this fellowship that each individual is getting to know themselves, so the light can shine, they can see where they're wrong, what they're not seeing.
Absolutely.
And not because of me, but God.
Thank you. I appreciate the answer.
So I see so many hands, and I can't, if I said, okay, one more question, then I have to hear from Chris. Am I allowed to let one person go ask?
If you let one, you have to let all.
See? But since this young man hasn't said anything, one, and that's it. May I? Mother, may I?
Well, you talk after the church service ends with the people in the audience.
Okay. Yes.
So I understand what you're saying. Like if we're trying to like argue with somebody that they're wrong about Scripture, that would not be what we should do. But but what about the Holy Spirit? Doesn't He give us some thoughts that help us
That's a good question. I'm glad I went to you. The Holy Spirit never give you a thought. All thoughts are from hell. That's why God said bring the whole imagination into captivity. He didn't say, you know what, you can believe the Scriptures through the imagination. He said bring every thought. And you have thoughts that you don't even realize you have. Like Hassan was saying, somebody was saying, even from childhood, they're still there. And they're in there and they're controlling your life and Satan is using it against you and you don't realize it. That's why when he changed the heart, salvation of the heart, then the light will start shining and it will destroy the darkness, but you got to let go so it can do that. You can have it, even when you're afraid of something. My wife gonna leave me, now I'm scared. Or my wife gonna take my children. There was a guy called the show the other day and he was in tears because his wife won't let him play with his child. That's too important to him. God doesn't want him to act that way. He put that more before loving God with all your heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else or nobody else or anything else. And the only way that's going to happen, even when you feel fear of losing something or not getting something or for someone to say or think, you need to feel that and let it crash. You need to be all in with God so you can overcome that because that's too important to you too. You cannot be in the world and with God. I mean, you can be in it but not of it, right? And the only way you're going to be in the world but not of it, all ego got to crash. And it feels scary because Satan play on you, worry, it makes you think about the outcome and all that crap. Don't listen to the devil. Let it crash. Feel the fear. It'll be so painful sometimes you can't even walk. After a while, you won't have to feel that anymore because the ego is descending into hell. It really is. And that means it shows that you're all in with God because you trusted Satan all these years. And look what he's done to you. Trust God. And most people do not believe that God will help them. Most people do not believe in God. Because if they did, they would be all in and let him handle it. The light will handle life for you. All situations, anything, anytime. Just like Satan is always with you, God will be with you all the time. You're just going to switch gods, that's all. And he would take over rather than Satan taking over. Amazing. But you gotta let go. You can't protect the ego. As this young lady was saying, you can't protect the not you. You have to let the ego suffer and die. And it feels like you, but it's not you. The ego makes you think you know when you really don't know. You really don't know. The ego makes you think, oh, this is a bad situation. You need to freak out. You need to do something. You need to say something. No, you don't. If it's telling you you need to do something or say something or give a reaction to the world, you don't. You don't owe the world anything because when you react to the world, all you're doing is two egos arguing. Trying to prove one is right and one is wrong. You're just arguing, and people love gossip. They love arguments. That's all that's happening. Both of you are still serving Satan. One trying to prove that the other was wrong. It's all ego. You don't need to respond to the world. And I'm telling you, it will always work out. I would love to take your hand, but I got to stop. Really. So if you want to talk a little later, we will for a minute. The brand new biblical question is, how many fighters are you, how many in this room are fighters? You are a fighter. You can be honest. You're a fighter. And the rest are not, what cowardly people. The rest are not fighters. You're not a fighter.
What do you mean by fighter?
So what?
What do you mean?
That's a biblical question. for next week.
I just said, what do you mean by fighter?
Are you a fighter?
Like physically, mentally, spiritually?
Are you a fighter?
Come on, you know what this is.
Yes.
You're a fighter?
Yes.
Nice. Are you a fighter?
Yeah.
You are?
Yep.
Amazing. I can't, it's just a biblical question, so I can't add to it. Are you a fighter?
Nope, I'm a lover.
So what?
No, Jesse, I'm
You
a
a lover?
lover.
No wonder Jay want to have so much fun. He ran up on a lover. Ooh. Chris said the same thing this morning. I asked Chris, was he a fighter? He said, no, I'm a lover. Are you a fighter? Uh-huh. No, it's not like sure.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a fighter.
You are a fighter?
I'm a fighter.
Oh, okay. You a fighter, Big Ball? I don't know. You don't know if you're a fighter or not? Oh, you don't know?
No, I don't.
In the back with the brown jacket, are you a fighter, yes or no? Well, take the mic first. You a
Yes.
fighter?
Mm-hmm.
You a fighter?
Absolutely.
Okay. Amazing. That's the biblical question for this week. Are you a fighter? Right here. Are you a fighter?
No.
How old are you?
11.
God said one day we're going to listen to the children. Thank you. All right? So that's the biblical question. Stay with the silent prayer. Get to stay with you. Become your own man, your own woman. And I'm telling you, what you're going to discover, if you stay on that path, will be amazing. Thank you for your support. If you need counseling, we have the best counseling service. You can call the office or go to the website. Any other announcement? Oh, no church next Sunday. So what? Oh. So because of no church, I'll respond to this biblical question on Friday during the show. Oh, no, I'm not doing the
Thursday
show
show on Friday. On Thursday. Thursday.
On Thursday. I got to go to Florida. I'm speaking at an event down there on Friday, and then I'm looking at some buildings for buying down there. So I won't be back until late Sunday. I figure while I'm down there, I should look for the. Are you making a move down over there? Yeah, we're moving to Florida.
Okay, that'll be closer to you soon.
Yeah, nice.
18-hour drive. What part of Florida?
Orlando.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, sometime this year before the year is up. We got to get out of this building. And we've been. I'm sorry?
Always in Florida?
What?
So you go to Florida instead of finding a location?
Yeah, we tried to find a place in California to buy, but I can't do it. It's through the roof. So many regulations, restrictions, and even if you bought, yeah, it's same rules. You know, taxes are high, and Orange County a little bit nice, but it's still they have the same government, and they're starting to change too a little bit. And this government is not going to let up with the mask and any of those things. It's just not going to. They have control. It will be Canada soon. It really will. And so, but I want to stay in LA. I stay as long as I can, but I have no other choice. Even my realtor said, you know what, it's not going to work here. And if I make the money, he said, but it's better. You can't buy in California if you want to do what you want to do. Everything is through the roof. So between now and the end of the year, I don't know exactly when, but when we do, I'll let you know. But next Sunday, no church. All right, so we're leaving town Thursday after this. Hey, you're not even doing a report on Thursday, right? Correct. Yeah, because we're leaving pretty early. So no church on Sunday. Let everybody know, no church next Sunday. But if the Lord is willing and the creek will rise the following Sunday. I think that's it. Thank you all. Look, stay with you. Whatever anybody else want to do, wish them well. But don't let them pull you from the straight and narrow path into their wide road. Don't let anyone control you. Don't let anyone manipulate you. You stay on your path, and God will show you. He'll take over. And these things that we talked about today will be made clear to you because you will overcome evil. And so just practice during the day where you're about to doubt every thought about anything, no matter what it is, about your ideas about life and about anything. You cannot have any ideas or plan because they all come from Satan. They're not your own. You don't make your own ideas up. The ego wants you to think you're making up your own ideas, but you're not making them up. They're coming from your dad as Satan. All in the name of Jesus. That's why God, once again, God said, bring every imagination into captivity. That means you can't think on any of this mess. Nothing. Even when you read the Bible, let it go in and out. Don't hold on to it. Keep your glass empty. Because whatever you hold on to, it'll fill your glass up and God can't get to you. Because your ego is filling up your glass. Leave it empty. All right? Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for your support. We'll do the Super Chats and D Lives tomorrow. Thank you for your tithes and offering, all that good stuff. I do appreciate it. And thank you all for coming. Amazing fellowship today. Thank you for that. Amazing.